I'm Gavin and hello, welcome back to Be Your Own Boss. So today we're going to talk about how you can be most successful at being picked for the jobs that you quote for, saving you loads of time and money. So we have 8 rules for you to follow, and if you follow these rules then you should be most successful at winning that customer. When I started out I used to win 1 in every 2 jobs I quoted for, and that was with job lead platforms. When your customers come to you based on recommendation, you can have a success rate as almost winning every customer. But first let's start with our top tips before you meet the customer. Usually customers get up to 3 quotes for the work to be carried out. Don't worry, because if you follow these rules then you up your chances of being successful and be the one the customer picks for the job. So either the customer ring you or you ring them to arrange an appointment for a work survey. But remember, if and when you buy a job lead, you must make contact straight away. Do not let that customer slip through your fingers, especially if you've paid for that job lead. And if you call the customer and they don't answer the phone, leave a message. I prefer to leave a text message over a voicemail, because in the past I've left a voicemail and I've started off well and it's just gone horribly wrong. But generally customers don't call you back unless you leave a message. If the customer leaves you a message, always get back to them as soon as possible, even if it means putting a reminder on your phone to get back to them as soon as you can. This way you won't lose the customer to another tradesman. So now that you're ready to meet your customer, let's review our 8 essential rules. Rule number 1, timekeeping. When you book the appointment with a customer, always give yourself a time frame rather than book an exact time. This way it's going to allow for any hold-ups. And guys, if you are actually running late, always tell the customer. And I know it's tempting, but don't make excuses. This will make you look unprofessional. Rule number 2, good manners. Be friendly, be smart. Always make yourself look presentable and helpful. I mean, there have been times where I've had to turn up to a customer's address covered in dust right from a job. I've always apologised for it, and this has been fine because I was polite and I looked sensibly dressed. And remember, more than often customers don't like a Jack the Lad type of guy that thinks he could do anything. So be humble. You want the customer to remember you and like you more than the other tradesmen. So when you turn up to their house, be polite and always take off your shoes. These details can get you very far. Rule number 3, honesty. If you see a job that looks a bit tricky for you, or maybe you just don't want to do it, then be honest. In most cases, this will not only earn you the respect of the customer, but they can remain a future potential customer as they still may like you more than the other tradesmen. Rule number 4, pen, paper and pictures. This may seem like an obvious one, guys, but I've been told by some customers that they picked me because I was more thorough than the other tradesmen, spending more time on measurements and taking pictures. So make sure that you spend more time with an in-depth survey, calculating square meters, taking pictures, writing down as much information as you can. That's going to help you when you get home also look more professional. And while we're on the subject, it is good practice to draw up a checklist for the job that you're quoting for so that nothing gets missed. I use a professional survey checklist, and it just so happens I've made a template for my subscribers for free, so stick around, stay tuned. If it's a kitchen or a bathroom survey you're doing, an actual survey checklist can be over 5 pages long, but don't worry as I'll cover this in another video. Rule number 5, never give prices to customers while you're on a survey. If you give any price to a customer while you're on a survey, then you can easily get it wrong and kick yourself when you get home. And likewise, if a customer tries to pressure you to give them a price, then just politely refuse. I've had to do it in the past. You can do it. If they're really worth working for, then they can just wait 1 or 2 days. And just add to this, guys, I've actually heard of tradesmen losing quotes just because they walked in somebody's bathroom, looked around and says, call it £4 love, which offers the customer no information at all, what they're getting for their money, and it looks like a bit of a tax dodge. Rule number 6, never ask a customer's budget. I know some tradesmen have actually asked customers what their budget is, but I asked the question once and never again. They just turned around and gave me a funny look because either they didn't have one in mind or they just didn't want to give it up. What you can do instead, which is what I do, if you don't really know what the customer has got in mind what to spend, then just ask them, do you want the cheap option or the more expensive one? And go through the differences with them, and they'll soon let you know how much they're willing to spend. It just won't be in pounds, it be in materials and the extent of the work. Rule number 7, urgency. Always ask the customer what time frame they have in mind for you to carry out the work. Always get that quote back to them within a couple of days to see you don't let that job slip through your fingers to someone else. And this sometimes is where you have to be a bit of a salesman, because if you sent the customer their quote and you don't hear anything back, chase them up, give them a phone call. Don't ask them if they liked the quote, ask them if they received the quote, if they were happy to go ahead with the work. Even if you don't want the job, always reply to the customer. This will build up your reputation. And remember, the small jobs can lead to the big jobs. And now for our final rule, rule number 8, transparency. Be transparent in your quotation and itemise it if and where you can. For example, if you're quoting for hanging a customer's door, you can split that down into hanging a door, painting it and disposing of the old door. This not only looks very professional, but it will help build your pricing structure, saving you loads of time when quoting in the future. Additionally, if the customer doesn't want the painting doing, they want to do it themselves, it's less work for you just to readjust the price as it's split down. Try your best to avoid hidden costs. Let the price on the quotation be the final price the customer pays, otherwise it can look bad for your reputation unless there is something really unavoidable. And just for your records and to help you understand where your money is best spent, ask the customer where they found you from. So there you have it. Build your reputation and be successful, as this will lead to more money in your pocket, working less hours and taking more holidays. Thanks for staying tuned. I really enjoyed giving you those tips today and I hope they help you get your first customer and all your customers after that. So I really want to know how this worked out for you guys. So if you have any questions or feedback, just hit the comment section and I'll be watching closely. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about estimating jobs, the do's and don'ts. So don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned and I'll see you next time.